Okay, there we go. I guess I just need it a lot higher.
Same. Now that we're boop. There we go. Let's see. Okay.
No, we got it.
We did it. I got some water. Feeling good, feeling great.
Up top. Yeah.
All right. Another episode here with Carrie and Taylor. And today we wanted to talk about the aesthetic of online spirituality.
Hold on, you gotta do it. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I started laughing. I think it's because I was thinking about how we got a new piece of technology, just one new piece of technology, and we're like,
what's happening?
The files are in the computer. Truly.
So technology. It's always out to get us.
I am reminded of why there are whole entire industries, like why a sound engineering is an industry, trying to figure out the right bebops and doodads to assemble a half-decent sounding audio experience for the listeners of podcast. I just didn't know.
I used to hate the sound check at concerts and stuff, but I get it. You got to make sure that stuff's working.
Speaking of sound check at concerts, we have our matching outfits on. It is a t-shirt that says Memorials. Why do we buy these t-shirts, Carrie?
Well, Taylor and I went to a concert, and like often, you don't know who the opener is. The opener was this band, Memorials, and it was an experience, to say the least. We survived it, and so we thought it was only right that we buy the t-shirts.
It was so bad that it transformed into... It went from an ordeal to something that charmed me. Like, it made the full circle of this is horrible into now I'm fascinated. And so we bought their shirts. Shout out to you, Memorials.
Memorials!
I kind of like you now, but the saxophone screeching, you know what? We're just not artsy enough for bands like that.
Mm-mm.
It was French experimental jazz.
It's not for us. And then when I went to purchase the tickets, the woman, this band is a two-piece, by the way. The woman from the band was the one to sell the t-shirts. And because I did not want to tell her that I did not enjoy it, I was like, great set. Can I get 2 shirts?
I can't.
I couldn't be mean to her.
No, I mean, there's no world where you walk up there, you're like, give me 2 shirts. I fucking hate your band. That would be crazy work. That would be.
They got our money though, so good for them.
I never wanted to forget that we were there.
We had to buy these in euros.
What?
Yeah, when she handed me the scanner, it was in euros. It was like $30 US or $25 US or something like that, and then like $22.50 euros.
Technology. Welcome to the liminal layer. Haters of French experimental jazz. Lovers of French experimental jazz.
You know?
Enemies to lovers.
It's all one.
What are we talking about today, Carrie?
Well, today we're going to talk about the aesthetic online of spirituality. Not so much what it actually is, but the way they try and make it look. Everything on social media seems to be so curated, including the personalities, that I feel like we only get to see very limited access as far as the types of people in the space.
Well, yeah, everybody is trying to do what works. If something goes viral, if they see that those are the people that get the clicks, that's what everyone's gonna do. It's all about that cash.
It's kind of a weird space for people who are just kind of chill. Because online, it looks like either you have to be 100% love and light in your flowy white dress in a field, or you have to be the spooky spiritual girl, more Wicca, more all black, the goth aesthetic, which I love a black outfit, but I'm also not someone who really fits in that either.
I find, hold on, sorry, my Little House on the Prairie hair is like, now it's touching me weird.
Sensory issues.
Wow. Is it magic? Or is it developmental issues? I guess we'll never know. Maybe both. Who knows?
We'll find out.
I'm just very powerful at magic, that's all. There are distinct aesthetics, right? And they are each selling you something distinct. And I will go ahead and say, I feel like they're full of shit. If someone has too specific of an aesthetic, especially about spirituality, and I feel like this is an ad campaign and not a real look into someone's actual practice, I don't want none of it.
Well, you don't feel like you know anything about the person. You don't feel like it's genuine at that point. It just starts to look performative.
It's an ad campaign. It's not a lifestyle. This isn't, and magic is inherently kooky, right? We've talked about that before. It's silly. It's silly to be in your house as an adult who pays taxes to a local municipality and you're doing magic, right? There is a silliness to it. Just like there's a silliness to people who are really getting down in church. You know, and they're like stomping the floor open for God. They're opening up the pit for Jesus, right? There is an inherent silliness to all of it because when it's contrasted against the actual world we live in, it's like, oh, I gotta pay my property taxes, but also I'm gonna hex this bitch that, like, you know, or I'm gonna speak to my alien guides or one of those other things. It is inherently kind of kooky. And when I see someone who is trying to present this very unified aesthetic where nothing is out of place, everything fits their mantra, I guess, of being, I'm just like, is there a Swiffer mop just outside of this, you know, the shot? I bet there is. And that's okay. I would rather see that too. There's nothing wrong with having an aesthetic. There's nothing wrong with wanting to, you know, be a certain way or present yourself a certain way. But I don't want magic to be presented as an ad catalog for Google.
Yeah. I think that it's a strange place we live in now where everybody's worried about brand consistency. And I feel
so
like
fucking tired of it.
because of brand consistency, no one gets to look like a full-fledged person.
Yeah.
Because all of my hobbies are very contradictory in some ways. And the music I listen to would probably not be what a lot of the more Reiki meditation girls are listening to.
They would rate your brand consistency at like a -5.
Yeah.
And I love you for that. Mine is
Right.
also at a negative. Maybe we're more both a -20. I don't know. If you're in advertising, take a look.
That's what keeps me off of social media in some ways, because if I want to just post a picture of me making bread, then there's somebody who's going to be like, this isn't spiritual work. If I post a picture of, you know,
Sorry, just you're like, you light some candle, you're holding a chime candle with the bread. You're like, does this do it? The algorithm's like, yes, absolutely.
you gotta throw some,
Consistency.
yeah, it's like, gotta throw some herbs in that pot. You gotta do this. But I feel like it segments everyone into who they are online and then who they are in real life, who their friends know them to be. But it never really seems to intertwine. I see a lot of my friends online and I love them, and I'm like, great, this is their business, but a lot of times it doesn't tell me exactly who they are, which is fine depending on the business.
Well, it gets weird with spirituality as your business, right? Because the entire point of taking a journey into a spiritual awakening or a resurgence or exploring the deeper parts of yourself or magic or the occult is to be authentic. That's the first kind of step on the road, right? It's a journey towards authenticity of the self and of the actions. So why are we all playing? Like, what? I mean, what is that song? Do you remember that song? It was like, show me something real, like some stretch marks. Like, that's what I want to say.
Let's see the real deal.
To your point about how social media kind of doesn't hold your interest either, I am bored of perfectly crafted timelines meant to sell you an idea of what your life could be like if you listen to this person. And that's not true.
Yeah.
It's never true.
On the other side, there are those people who try so hard to seem quirky or, you know, online they call them the quirky chunguses. You're quirky chungus? You're a cork chungus. So
what?
Yeah. The girls who are like,
explain to me.
I'm so quirky, blah, 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 you know, and they're doing the weird stuff.
Like when we were young, it was like, I'm random.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
rawr.
I'm quirky. I'm a goofy goober. You know, that kind of thing. But I think in trying to show everybody that you're so quirky, you're also not being authentic. I feel like most people online are not showing up authentically.
No, it's an ad set. It's them pretending to be the version of themselves that they wish that they were for a bunch of people who will throw them away at the slightest inconvenience. Wow, I love it here.
It's a great space, isn't it? And honestly,
I feel like I'm always just depressed. When I listened to the last episode, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. Am I okay? Should I check myself in? There were several times where I did a 1,000-yard stare. I was like,
same.
I don't know.
Listen,
I'm a goofy goober.
If either of us need to be 5150'd, we've got each other's back.
I would kidnap you and take you to the hospital if I felt like you needed it. You know, if you called me and you were like doing the light language thing, you're like, I'm a cat, alien cat. I would come to your house.
Understandable.
I would drug you with a Xanax, and I'd be like, let's go visit your cat alien friends at the hospital.
I feel like
I sidetracked us. You said people are not being authentic online, and I agreed with you.
Right. I think especially in the spiritual space, I have friends who are coaches who feel like well-rounded people, but they're also people who are not as curated. Some of their stories in the mornings are them in their pajamas, you know, or them on a walk. It seems like things that are very much their actual lives, but it's the girls who everything's a retreat. Everything is, you got to go to your drum circle. You got to go to this. You got to go to that. It seems like you're going to these things for content instead of actually feeling like these things are helping.
Content of the soul rather than content of the Instagram. I mean, I know what you mean. There is something relatable about somebody being in their pajamas or just on a walk, but the authenticity comes through when it doesn't look like it's produced on a set. Because there is those people who are like, no, I'm just like everyone else. And they're in their pajamas, but there's 3-point lighting. Again, so many things to learn. Shout out lighter people who do the lights.
Shout out to the lights.
Yeah, there's a lot to it. And it looks like there's professional lighting set up. They are in their pajamas and they just woke up, air quotes, but they have airbrushed makeup.
They get up out of the bed and they're like yawning and stuff, but the camera's already rolling.
Yeah.
You've been up. I know you've been awake, figuring out what you're gonna...
I hate things like that.
I understand that this is not real. Why are you telling me you're waking up? I know you didn't just wake up.
It's when I see shit like that, it sets me. It fully sets me. It almost feels like an insult. I'm like, you think I'm fucking stupid?
I could not waste my time faking a life to other people to convince them that I'm someone that they should be listening to.
Yeah, but there's that cash. It's the cash element. You know, they're in it for the money, right? They're in it for the money. They're in it for the notoriety, both of those things. Sometimes one more than the other, but ultimately they want to be known, they want to be famous, and they want to be rich. And they are willing to step all over one of life's most important experiences. Like geekish. Why do you think it works? Because it does work.
It does work.
Why do you think people respond? Because people do respond more to these curated timelines and these people who are essentially faking like little sim lives. Why do you think people respond better to that than the more realistic content that isn't overproduced and isn't a fairy tale, essentially? Why do you think people like that more?
I think that a lot of people use social media as an escape, and we use it to we like to look at cute animal videos and cooking things and things that we like.
I was deep in quilts last night.
Quilts. Yeah, I watched sourdough
TikTok
videos
for quilts. 10 out of 10.
Oh, I believe it.
The quilt mahos know what the fuck is up. It's so fun. And they do this thing where they roll up their quilts and then they stand there and then they let
it go.
They let it drop and it's a reveal. It's so fun.
I'm about it.
Yeah.
But I think that people want an escape, and often, like when this space opened up as far as social media, a lot of people didn't even understand what an influencer was, but they were still going out and buying the things that they saw these people with perfect lives had. And so I think that it's kind of works the same way in a influencer way, that people see these lives that they want to attain, and instead of listening to the information, they're so blinded by the glitz and the glamour and the trips and all of the things that these people are saying that they're doing. And remember, these are also people who go online talking about how great their life is. They're not talking about their struggles often.
Even when they do, they glamorize it.
Right.
Yeah, they'll be like, my whole family died 2 months ago, but I jumped timelines and now I'm fine.
That's what you got to do. I
fucking hate that shit. Oh my God.
Rejection is a portal, okay?
Oh my God.
I feel like, you say the things and you start using quantum physics and you start using basic everyday things that are real to try and explain these supernatural things to validate your point. One of the things I saved for us to look at later is telling us the difference between 3D, 4D, and 5D life. And do you know what the difference is? They're not really telling you. They're like, you're happier, you're healthier, you love life.
The vibes are just really good.
So how is telling someone that they're 3D and they need to get to 5D, 3D is bad, 5D is good, spend $5,555 and I will tell you how to get there. I just don't see...
They're like vampires. We need a Blade. Where's Blade at? Wesley Snipes. Just start. It is a lot of saying nothing, but presenting it as though you can lead people to salvation, essentially, where they too can have an ugly modern mansion and a lot of weird linen-y dresses and intense spiritual experiences that you are essentially faking online. In case you guys can't tell, we're not big fans.
I'm not a fan of people coming online speaking light language. I'm not a fan of people telling you what kind of starseed you are, or that you are an intergalactic being, that you... any of that. I'm not for that. I use spirituality to pull me closer to myself, to help me find myself, to help me connect with others, and not to make myself feel like I'm a higher being than everyone else.
You're limiting beliefs.
Yeah,
to be limitless.
If my limiting belief is that I'm not God, I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do better. No, you're right. I do not spend a lot of time on any side of spiritual, social media, or witch talk, or anything like that, because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it kind of makes me want to kill myself. I just get very overwhelmed with annoyance and confusion, and I just find myself being like, what are they even nobody's even fucking saying anything. So I don't spend a lot of time on it, but last night I did make a concentrated effort to go look, and I did not like what I saw. uh, and you're right, it is a lot of I'm better than everyone. I know things you don't know. You could never be as powerful as me. And a lot of posturing in material ways. And I just am very curious about why it is so effective. It's do you remember when van life was really big? And
Yes.
everybody had a hottie in a bikini in their van life
Yes.
videos? Like, sex sells, we get it. I guess, what is the sex in this situation? What are they really selling? Is it autonomy? Is it the idea that you know something that other people don't? Because we know people love that one. They love to feel like they know something you don't, and they have access to ancient knowledge that you could never have access to. Is it a mixture? What do you think?
It's probably a mixture, but we have seen the repackaging of sacred knowledge and how they've now marketed it to the social media crowd, which that's for another episode. I just feel like people often want to take the road that's already cleared. This road has been cleared
This
of
person's in front
love
of
and light
you.
girlies. They see the path, so they just follow that path.
They already bush hogged it.
Yeah.
They took out all the little brambles for you.
That's when you start to see so many of the same people. It's like King Kylie era of Instagram when she was making the lip kits and stuff, and a whole bunch of girls started looking like her and getting popularity just by looking like her. I feel like that's kind of what happens.
I do remember this. Sorry, we all live in our bubble, right?
Yeah.
I may not understand the King Kylie thing, but I do have my own uniform, so I'm not
Yeah.
saying the tatter uniform.
Right.
Yeah.
Wasn't my aesthetic,
Yeah, it
but a
wasn't
lot of
mine.
girls not only were looking like her, but also getting procedures to look more like her.
No.
Fillers
She
and
had plastic surgery?
she just overlines her lips, but
I thought it was puberty.
puberty hit hard. So I think that people see that there's money to be made and they latch on. Because usually the first people to go to that space are not the people who are just trying to help. It's the people who want to get a paycheck.
Or the people that are desperately obsessed with the idea of notoriety.
Yes.
In a spiritual space, I think that's what really upsets me about, now that we're talking about it, there's always been flexing on the internet with material things and cash. Like, we're humans. We live in a world where you have to have money. It's always going to be a motivator. And when you see Twitch streamers or YouTubers, flexing has always been a part of it. And a lot of it is kind of, you're never going to be me. You even see that in music, rock bands, rappers. They will flex these monetary things, but part of it is the unreachability of it, right? You're never going to be Axl Rose. But with spirituality, with the flexing of the material things, they're trying to convince you that you could easily be them.
Yeah.
And not even, it's almost worse than the finance bros who are trying to be like, you could invest here and then you can be rich like me in my rented Lambo. Honestly, I hate them less than I hate the people who are like, I am going to teach you how to manipulate space and time. I am immensely powerful, but I have decided to spend my time making videos. If I could shoot through space and time and manipulate the entirety of my experience to suit my whims, I wouldn't even know what a fucking phone was. I'd be like hop skipping through timelines and galaxies. I'd be fighting wars that nobody even knows about dumb shit like bagels or something. I wouldn't even think twice about building some sort of weird pyramid scheme empire.
Yeah. But I guess that's the go-to. The go-to is the grift. Well, I guess also I've realized how it's now become a very like conveyor belt type of industry, as far as there are lots of people who will sell you your coursework. You want to make carousels on Instagram? I've got this package of 500 Canva templates that you can use. So, on top of people not even really trying to push out good information sometimes, it's also people who aren't even making their own information. They're just filling in the blanks and shipping it out. Or I do follow a coach. I'm not going to say her name, but I do get her emails. And this is a different one.
Oh, okay.
She admitted in her emails that at first she was using AI, that all of the emails were AI, and that
I'm shocked.
I guess people could tell. And she was like, I'm not going to do that anymore. These are just from me. But you have to remember, just like every other industry, people are now automating so much of the stuff that they're doing, their emails, their messages. I'm sure the course load, they've had AI or had Canva help, and help is fine. But it just seems like it's left such a hole in the space because there's lots of people teaching you who know nothing, who aren't trying to learn anything. They're just trying to cash out and present themselves in a particular way.
I can see automating if you own, I don't know, a lawn care business. There's so many things that automation makes sense for. If my lawn dude sent me an AI automated email that was like, hey, get your leaves picked up this shot, I wouldn't think twice. That makes sense. But automation and the scraping of humanity, like scraping it all out in a spiritual sense in these types of communities is fucked. You're never gonna convince me it's not fucked. It's fucked. It is a essentially human component. There are so many things, administrative things. You know, if you are a spiritual practitioner and let's say you have a retreat coming up and you want to automate reminder emails, yeah, okay. We're not crazy. But ChatGPT should not be writing your like monthly spiritual message. Come on now. That's weird. And if you can't see that it's weird, then you don't belong as a teacher in those spaces. I'll say it.
Well, earlier you were talking about van life, and van life is, I see online, very much like spirituality in the way that it's sold. It's this perfect life, when spirituality is, there are shitty parts in that in that shadow work.
Welcome to the fucking show.
Yeah, when you have to look at yourself, sometimes you're like, wow, this is rough, but
turns out
it's
human.
necessary. And
it is necessary.
You know, in van life, these people they shit in glorified buckets, and they're trying to convince you that their life is perfect, which I have lived off grid. I know. I loved my life off grid. Don't get me wrong, but
you would tell anybody who was like, I also want to do it. I've been present for these conversations. People would be like, wow, living the dream, Gary. And you'd be like, a poop in a glorified bucket.
Yeah.
And they would be like, oh, you're like, yeah, you need to think about these things before you sell your house and want to live in a van.
Yeah. I go outside for showers, and outside where sometimes it's below freezing.
Yeah. There was tarantulas.
There were all kinds of, what were they? The badgers.
I love that badgers are mean. I think it's so fun.
They were like, be careful of the badgers. So I feel like you're portraying this perfect lifestyle, but your life is never perfect. And I appreciate it being perfect, but also you telling me your life isn't perfect isn't you telling me you have herpes. I'm saying this because a coach told me this on a call. But that was like,
herpes?
Yeah. Which people get herpes.
Yeah,
like, it happens. But I just don't understand how.
Don't a lot of people have herpes?
Yeah. But
I always
using
forget.
that as, well, I've been through things. I have herpes, but now I go to Egypt every season, and I do this and I do that, and I travel and I go on these retreats. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, herpes
okay,
don't take away your passport, girl.
yeah.
Like,
So you try to tell us this thing that you tell us your one struggle so that you can then tell us about your glorious life.
when in reality, you have way more struggles because you are human.
Yeah.
And to be human is to struggle. We all have things that pop up in our way, and it just is.
Everyone has shitty days. And I think it's the love and light girlies are what really gets me, because they make it seem like you cannot accept anything other than positivity.
I was watching a lot of those videos last night. I don't know why they all have dead eyes. It was really starting to kind of freak me out. They all got those Tom Cruise eyes. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys doing blow? Or like, I don't know. Anyways, but they do. It's so weird to me to fund your lifestyle via convincing other people that nothing ever goes wrong for you because you say the right words in the mirror every morning. Some of the fucking shit that I saw last night, Carrie. Oh my god. I'm already getting fucking about it. They were like, I am gonna tell you my most secret manifestation technique. Everyone was, oh, you always get what you want. I'm starting to do the Trump thing. Whatever. They're Trump now. You always get what you want. Everyone's always telling me I get everything I want. And then you know what I do? You know what I do? And they pause and they're staring into the camera like they're gonna fucking bite you. And then they're like, I say, I will have it. Whatever it is, you just say it out loud. You say, I will have a ballroom that's bigger than anyone else's ballroom. Like, and it's just, and I'm like, what are you fucking talking? You just say it out loud.
Yep.
All right, I'll do it right now. We'll see if it works. I will have the people who regulate the size of lumber imprisoned. I will have their assets seized. I will have them put in jail because they're fraudulent liars. All right. Give it 6 months.
Okay.
Maybe I'll wake up and I'll say that every day. We'll see.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't think it's going to happen. Oh, well, oops. See, that would get me there.
There you go.
Ah!
You're blocking your blessings. Don't block your blessings.
I wish it was that easy. I do. It would be great if you could just influence the entirety of the universe and everyone else's, autonomy with your little sentences. But you can't.
No. If you do not embrace your dark, there's no way that you can know your true light. It's a balance, people. We are not all one or the other. It's that gray zone. It's the liminal.
It's the middle part. Yeah.
We've got to understand that it's okay to be upset. It's okay to be mad. I'm someone who, I don't get mad often, but when I do, I make it everybody's problem.
I love it when you get mad. It's like it's like 90s Raw. Like WWE, you are Ric Flair in that moment. And I love it. It doesn't happen very often, but I'm like, woo!
And I know that about myself, and that's okay. Does it happen? If I had a super short fuse, that'd be one thing. I'd probably need to be like, oh, you reel this in. But I'm an emotional person in many ways. And sometimes I think about my life and I just cry in a good way.
Sometimes a bad way.
Yeah, or a bad way. If I'm having a bad day, I might have a sad cry. But
I love to be dramatic.
Oh.
I feel like being dramatic in your own home, not bothering anyone about. Listen, I will wallow like I am a Victorian woman who is beset by melancholia that could never be cured. I am on the cliffs in the rain. We'll fall out. I will on the couch. And you know what? It makes it fun. It makes it fun where, yeah, I'm just like, I'll never recover from this. But then 20 minutes later, I'm fine.
I'm okay.
Because I gave myself the space to do it and the space to admit that maybe I'm upset for no reason. Maybe this is silly. Maybe I just am feeling a little, maybe my period's in 2 days and I just fucking hate everyone, including myself.
But that's doing the emotional work. Doing the emotional work is stopping and being like, I'm having these feelings. Why am I having these feelings? And actually working through them versus saying, I'm feeling something negative. I can't feel that. I'm going to replace this negativity with positivity. Look, done.
That's like making a Yellowstone volcano out of your emotions.
Yeah. And then
that's how you end up Britney Spears style shaving your head in the middle of Alabama.
And I'm sure that if you're following someone who's telling you that that's the path and you start to feel that inner resistance and you just keep pushing forward because this person's telling you that this is the way, you only start to think of yourself as bad because you're feeling emotions that you shouldn't be feeling.
Do you think that's by design? Do you think it's like drug dealer crack shit where they know? Do you think any of them are smart enough to realize the psychology behind it of making people feel like they aren't doing a good job, like you just said? They're pushing all this down. They feel like they shouldn't be having any feelings except for gratitude and positivity. And then when inevitably, because they are humans, they continue to struggle, you're keeping customers for life,
right?
Like, because they think, oh, well, I need to just keep watching this person. I need to keep listening to them because they have reached this nirvana-esque space that I myself have not. But in reality, those people are lying to you, right? Like you said earlier, they're presenting this idea of everything is positive, everything is good, I never struggle. Oh, well, sometimes they make my latte wrong and it's very, or they always pick these oddly specific struggles. Yeah, like the herpes thing, or what was that one that you told me about?
There's the one who, I had a bad breakup. That's it's okay.
And it's like they hyper focus on these very curated aspects of themselves, but it's all run through that filter of, I used to obsess over my ex-boyfriend, but now I don't because I am an intergalactic fairy who rides on a chariot of cats. You know what? They're not cool enough to be Freya. I take it back. I
take that back.
They're not cool enough for a chariot of cats. They would never think of that. They don't have enough puss. But it's all still extremely curated. And even then, these are struggles that are meant to make you feel like they understand you, when in reality, probably a lot of them are even just made up. They're probably having genuine, real struggles. No, not probably. They definitely are having normal human struggles behind the camera lens when it's turned off. They're fighting with their partner. They probably have family issues, because part of being in a family is having some issues, having some conflicts. They probably are, I know for a fact their taxes are fucked up.
Oh,
I could say this as somebody who was a 1099 for a long time and now owns a business. My shit's always fucking wrecked. The IRS is always like, we're gonna fucking come to your house and kill you. And then I'm like, wait, but I sent you that. And then 3 months later, they're like, oh, our bad bestie.
Just kidding.
My most toxic relationship is with the IRS. I'm like, do you hate me? Are we friends? Am I going to get put in jail? Not because I committed tax fraud, but because I'm an idiot. And those are genuine, real struggles that they're all paying taxes. They're all having to
well, let's hope they're all paying their taxes.
Yeah. They have a social security number. They are having to put gas in their car. They don't just float around fucking Jetson style with their third eye open. But they would never, you can't see that part of it because that takes the mystery away, right? That removes the veil. And suddenly you see them pumping gas in their Corolla and they don't seem so mystical anymore.
Yeah, I have a small child. Shit gets rough sometimes. He has a mind of his own, and I love that about him, that he gets to go and do and be the person he wants to be. And sometimes that person is very hard-headed. And
kids that age are assholes.
I'm very open about the fact that motherhood ain't all.
It's hard.
Yeah. My son ate a pine cone one time in the backseat and threw up in my hand. Like, it's rough out here in these streets. But, I'm
I
sure
forgot about the pine cone. I'm sorry.
you forgot about that.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think that
the thing that sticks with me, sorry,
No,
the thing that sticks with me is him afterwards acting like somehow he had been attacked. Like the pine cone had jumped up and made him eat it. He was like, how could this have happened? You ate it.
you put that pine cone in your
ate
mouth.
a pine, like, that's commitment.
Yeah.
You committed to eating that pine cone.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
And he will do something that wild probably once a week.
Yeah.
Where he's just like, you know what? And that's the day where I'm like, ooh, it's rough. But I'm not going to then put on my mask and get online and be like, motherhood is the most amazing and sacred thing, and it's only good and positive every moment, and you should all be here with me and do it.
I treasure every moment, even the moments where he's throwing a bits of pine cone in my hand, because I am one with the earth and spirit and my cat alien ancestors, and you wouldn't understand because you're in the 3D.
3D, you don't get it.
No, sometimes life sucks.
Sometimes life sucks, and that's okay.
Yeah. Like
You
in
have
that
to-
moment when you had pine cone throw up in your hand, I'm sure you were like, "Jesus fucking Christ!" But now it's funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious. At the time, even later that day, it was funny. But in the moment, it's like, because everything has their ups and downs, and trying to convince anyone that everything is sunshiny and that if they do it your way, it'll be sunshiny is such a fraud.
Yeah. It's fraud.
Fraud.
Report them to the IRS. It's the same thing, kind of you have the love and light girlies who are, positivity 100% of the time. I did see they're now starting to, I think, move away from that a little bit because they've been catching heat for it because it's the dumbest idea I've ever fucking heard. And now, it's like light negativity, but then they're like, we transmute it.
Of course.
I forgot to pay my property taxes, so they seized my house. But you know what? This means I'm free. I'm free to travel. Yeah, and
now
I'm
she'll
like,
get her glorious van life.
girl, maybe you should have just fucking made a reminder. You would be so much more real if you were like, wow, I really fucked this up, you guys. Turns out my third eye don't pay attention to when property taxes are due. Need to use my regular two eyes. Get on that. That would be much more realistic, and I would like that take. Because there is an art to blending a very spiritual life, a mystical life, being into magic, being your kooky little weird self, but also being present in the society that we have all created. Because you cannot remove yourself from it. Most people will never be able to do so. That takes a lot of money, that takes a lot of autonomy, it takes a lot of ability. If you want to Ruby Ridget, you better be able to fucking hike up a mountain, and not everybody can do that for various reasons. But these hoes be out here lying. But yeah, you have the positivity, always girls, love and light girlies, and then you know what? I think it is time.
Is it time for your archetypes?
Yeah, I made a list last night. Because I was like, I need to identify what exactly I am seeing, and like the different, I don't know, schools of thought that I see on the internet where they're all, it's like cannibalism in these little groups. They're all doing the same things the other ones are doing. They all have the same aesthetic. And I think they're each selling a certain idea that maybe people feel like they're missing in their lives. Before I say any of these, I will upfront say, anybody who is trying to sell you on the idea that you have some sort of absence in your life that only they can fix, not good. Not good at all.
That is how cults start. Mm-hmm. If you start leading or following one leader who is telling you that they have the way, and you're blindly following this person, they're pulling you from everything you know and love,
or making you feel like you couldn't possibly find these answers on your own.
The internet is vast.
Stranger danger.
You can find some of this if you just Google.
All right, here we go. First, I noticed the spooky, scary goth mommies.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to be selling the idea that no one could ever fuck with you if you're
Okay.
like them. They're usually the ones who are like, they attacked us. That was what that was. I was literally about to say they're usually hawking the idea of I'm a baneful practitioner. Ooh, like look at you, like shit like that. I could see how it could appeal to people. I gave this a lot of thought last night against my better judgment. I got into a spiral. It makes sense to me that people would be attracted to this because a lot of people have trouble standing up for themselves. They have trouble telling people to go fuck themselves and shit like that, even when it's really deserved. And so you have everybody playing this kind of spooky, scary witch part. And I tried to look in the comments of all these things, and in these comments, it was people, yeah, no one's ever gonna fuck with me again. I made a web of magic around my house. And I'm like, okay. So there's someone that's mean to you and you just haven't told them to eat shit.
Yeah.
You should start there. You should
start by cleaning house.
And a lot of them were really pushing this idea of doing a lot of like baneful workings, and I was like, yeah, you got that much energy? Like, you gonna keep feeding this?
I guess that's the brand.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Once again, they got to stick with their brand consistency now. A lot of people, when they put stuff out on the internet, whatever catches is what they continue to follow. So I'm sure that even if people weren't trying to be brand consistent, whatever gets the likes, they automatically start flowing more in that vein.
That makes sense. I will say their fashion sense, the like spooky, scary goth mommies, it was most aligned. I like their aesthetic the best. Yeah.
I'm into it.
Yeah. I was like, okay. But then yeah, they're doing a lot of posturing online. They're like, my demon prince will come and get you. I'm like, girl, no.
No. You married to a deity?
No.
No.
No. Next we have what I'm referring to as the wannabe aliens. They seem to be selling the idea that you are better than everyone else, and you are, in fact, the chosen one. A lot of them did the whole, I didn't put any hashtags on this video. If you found it, you are meant to be here. They're always standing in the forest, but I found myself wondering how often is this a forest, or is this just a copse of trees in between houses?
Yeah.
But they want to make it look like they're in the middle of nowhere.
Look at this. Look at these trees. And it's like behind a middle school.
This one is a classic. Everybody wants to feel like they know things or they're special. It's the hero's journey. It's the Mary Sue. I was put here for a purpose. Surely everything will just fall into line, and then I'll find out that I'm actually super amazing and I have incredible powers. Surely.
I did notice that was what a lot of the Starseed community was pushing.
The wannabe aliens.
Yeah. It was like a lot of, if you feel like you're weak, you're actually very strong. God, it shows you that you are a starseed and that but they're preying on people who innately feel less than or weak, and
who are probably just having a normal human experience. Everybody feels weak sometimes.
Yeah. We're not all at our strongest.
I fucking kicked shit in Lowe's I was being very weak in Lowe's. I was weakened by my rage. And I crashed out in Lowe's and kicked a whole bunch of lumber because of the lumber cabal. But that was a moment of weakness. I felt weak in that moment because I was so mad and frustrated that I acted out. I'm 35 years old. But I can imagine if I was somebody who was feeling that a lot of the time and then I saw that online, it's this kind of confirmation bias that comes with it, because they are the ones that are always like, if you found this, it's because you're supposed to find it. You're so strong.
Not that there's an algorithm or anything.
Yeah. No, it's not influenced by things you've already liked.
No.
I already watched it fuck my fucking algorithm up on TikTok. I sacrificed my hard-won algorithm last night.
I haven't
Moment
even
of
checked
silence.
what it's like after last night, but I've been looking at those starseed videos a little too much, and yeah, they all go for the if you feel like you're weak, you're a starseed, and it's just a feeling. You're not weak, but you need to learn how to access your starseed energy.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know. I'm not trying to be an alien. I'm trying to be a human having a human experience.
Well, yeah, because that's what you are. Yeah.
I'm like trying to have my feet firmly planted on the ground, preferably shoes off. And I'm going to take the good and the bad of the human experience because that's what makes us human.
Yeah, I always see the star seeds again. They're always like, "Do you feel weak?" Yes, that's a big one. And then they were like, "Have you always felt like you're different?" I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" Yes, everybody feels like they're different. You know why? Because we all are different. We are incredibly different and not different at all at the same time. It's like an everybody poops thing. You know?
Yeah.
Everybody poop. Well, except for Kim Jong-un.
Yeah. I mean,
Shout out to you, Kim Jong-un.
I don't know if he wants our shout out, but
He's getting it. He's a starseed. What kind of starseed do you think he is? I think he's one of the lion ones.
oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. But it's always like, yeah, do you feel different? Do you feel like people maybe don't understand you? These are normal human experiences. Everyone feels this way sometimes.
Yeah. Just
Doesn't mean that you're a reincarnated alien.
and we're keep it pushing kind of people. We know that there are bad days, but we know that they're not going to last forever.
Well, if I do feel like the bad days are consistent, then I know that I need to examine my daily habits. I need to examine my mindset. I need to examine how I'm approaching things, situations that I'm in, the length of those situations. You know, but that's just normal. That's not even magic. I mean, it's somewhere in the middle, right? That's not spirituality necessarily. That's just science too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you can't let anyone online invalidate your experience and tell you that you're wrong for feeling sad or mad or having feelings that are outside of love and positivity and gratitude, because every so often real life hits and we have to be like, okay, well, this shit sucks. Let's regroup and move on. But instead of just working through it, you're spending years working around it.
Paper macheing right over it.
Years.
Like a bad house flipper.
It's always easier to go through it.
There's mold in the walls. But I'm a starseed. Mold can't hurt me. I assure you it can. I assure you it can. Even mold will reach you in the 5D. Especially emotional mold.
You reach into 70, it's still gonna get you.
All right, let me see my next one. We have the most powerful mages. These people are kind of my favorite. These people just seem kind of insane, and they're kind of fun. They're the people that are trying to curse the moon and shit.
Ah. Enough said.
I don't even know what's going on with them. To be fair, most of these people are not selling anything. They're aesthetic. I think they're just LARPing.
Okay.
Which sometimes I'm like, are you all right? I guess that's my main concern with them.
You good?
Yeah, you good? But they are my favorite. If I had to pick favorites, they would be my favorite. Like, I'm like, I don't even know what you're doing. You went curse the moon, I guess.
I guess they don't even know what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Good for them.
Yeah.
They also encompass one specific group of older people. I'm talking 75 plus.
Okay.
Who are real interesting. You can tell they've been at it a long time. And you know what? They got fucked. They're my favorite. It is not aesthetic. Like, the outfits aren't good. It looks like a catalog you would have gotten in like 1995. It's tie-dyed and fringed. 90s Wicca, but you know what? They seem cool. They're just in their backyard.
Okay.
Yeah. They're like, they got bowls and shit. They're yelling at the top of their lungs. I'm like, you know what? Out of everybody, I believe you guys the most. I think you guys have the most puss. Like,
also, they're not trying to sell you anything.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you're just doing you.
I think some of them do have stuff, but it's not an ad set. You know, it's not polished enough. So I'm like,
Right.
you know, I think you're a real believer. I think you're just like, look, if you want to fucking curse the moon like I did, I've got a
Let's
book. Like,
go.
let's fucking go. They're fun. And then we have my least favorite, tied for least favorite with the wannabe aliens. We have the hall monitors. These people, their whole thing seems to be they know more than you. Don't forget it. I feel like this appeals to people that would have been the snitch ass RAs in college.
Mm. I lived right next door to the RA, so
Mm-hmm.
I know that struggle.
Yeah. These are the people who are just constantly trying to say that other people don't know what they're doing and that your candle wasn't turned right, or, you know, this person. It's just weird. They take, you know, because you have the spooky, scary goth girls who are like, if you learn from me, nobody will ever fuck with you. And they have the wannabe aliens who are like, if you learn from me, you're never gonna face another problem in your lifetime. You will ascend above them.
Wow.
You won't even have to do defense or offense like the goth girls are talking about. You just will rise above them. You'll be in the stars, baby. And it seems like the hall monitors are just simply there to fight amongst themselves in very specific veins of magic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why? My thing is, your practice is a very personal thing. And I think it's funny that people are like, you have to do it this way. But if I don't connect to that, then why would I do it that way?
I saw where this girl had done moon water or whatever, and I guess it fell over in the middle of the night, and it was dawn when she went to go get it. And she's like, damn, my moon water. And all of these people in the comments were like, you have to get it before the sun touches it. And I was like, oh my God, jeez.
Can we all just let each other live a little bit?
I don't understand. I guess I just don't live in this world where the second I see something that maybe is not what I would do, right? I'm not like, oh, I have to tell them. I have to tell them that they're the dumbest witch I've ever fucking seen. Wow, what an idiot. You let your moon water get touched by the sun?
That's just so crazy. Okay, but life, you guys. Her moon water saw a little sunlight. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's like brunch. It's in between breakfast and lunch. It's in
Yeah.
between.
My goodness. I just hope that everyone understands that you don't have to follow everyone so closely. You like someone on social media, that's cool, but you don't have to live their life. You don't have to do everything the way that they say that they do it. Or if they're telling you that you have to do it a certain way, you don't. It's not that serious. Life ultimately ain't that serious. Honestly. In the grand scheme of things, we have control over a handful of things, and a lot of things are out of our control. Why are we trying to control every aspect of life?
It's very important that that lady knows she did moonwater wrong. There's surely no other pressing problems in any of these people's lives that they would probably benefit greatly from taking care of.
No, it's the moon water.
Moon water. Yeah, those are most of. Can you think of any other archetypes that I missed?
No, because I think a lot of them do fit under, like you said, the star seeds fit under the alien wannabes. So do a lot of the ones who are just like, I'm pure energy.
What?
Oh, yeah. We all currently, if you're listening to this podcast, you are in a physical body.
I hope.
Listening to this on Apple or Spotify, watching on YouTube. I don't understand why people, I say that, but I do. I do understand why people want to escape their physical bodies. As someone with a chronic illness, there have been plenty of times that I wished that I was pure energy.
Shit. Anytime I have an ear infection, I'm like, take me away.
I just want to rise above this. But it's another way, yeah, they fit into the alien people because they just don't acknowledge their physical self. It's all about their energetic self.
It's just insane to me because, yeah, I'm like, I know you'd be pumping gas.
You poop.
You poop. You gotta brush your teeth. You gotta fold laundry.
Because at that rate, I'm like, are you living off of nothing? If you're eating food and drinking water, you are not pure energy.
Is this like the people who ate sunlight only, part 2, Electric Boogaloo?
Oh, like
What are they called?
breatharians?
Breatharians?
I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it's getting a resurgence. You know, everything comes back. Breatharians were big, 10, 15 years ago? But yeah, the breatharian thing died out. But of course, it's coming back. It's coming back.
If any of those cat meows make it in, just know that cat's fine. She just likes to scream. It's like her favorite thing.
She's just vocal.
She's ascending to the 5D. I'm trying to think of, I think I screenshotted a few things that made me laugh. Oh, here's one. This was affirmations, manifestations. If you want him to text you within 24 hours, repeat this affirmation every night before sleep until the end of Mercury retrograde. Right now, Mercury is in retrograde, and during this period, affirmations become stronger. And then it was his name, essentially, will call me, will text me. And I guess you just have to repeat that over and over again. I'm like, That's not true.
Okay.
I don't. Also, what about Mercury retrograde makes affirmations stronger?
People just say whatever they want.
It's in Gatorade. It's in the microwave. What do you have?
I have, what's the difference between 3D, 4D, and 5D
Hold on,
and beyond?
I'm scared.
What is the difference between 3D, 4D, 5D, and beyond? 3D consciousness, rooted in survival, separation, structure, duality, right, wrong, good, bad, light, dark, ego-led perception, fear, control, materialism. 4D consciousness, the bridge between 3D and 5D. Duh! 4 comes between 3 and 5. My God, we all went to elementary school.
This is ancient knowledge.
The fact that you made that a point, that it's the bridge between 3 and 5.
I had no idea it was between. I didn't know. Thank you.
See, this is the shit that annoys me. Expansion of awareness. Spiritual seeking begins. Increased intuition, empathy. The polarity is still present, but more fluid.
That means nothing.
And then 5D, unity, love, and soul embodiment. Deep heart-based living, service to others, harmony with earth. 6D and beyond. Realm of sacred geometry, soul blueprints, and collective oversoul consciousness. 7D plus, light being realms, pure frequency, cosmic remembrance. Home to many galactic councils, angelic beings, and guides. Time becomes fully quantum. You begin operating beyond language into light codes.
What if we just made them a spaceship? And we let them leave. You know, like Jane Goodall just did that interview and I would put Putin, everybody else, all the major presidents. She was like, all of them. I just put them on a spaceship. I'd just send them away. I'll make a GoFundMe. Let's send them home. Let's send the Starseeds home.
Send them home. So my thing is, just like everything else, until more recently, there wasn't a 6D, 7D. So are we just going to keep pushing the goalpost? You know, before 5D was it. Everybody was like, gotta be 5D. And then people are like, I am 6D. No, I am 7D plus.
It's like a bunch of kids on a playground where they're just one-upping each other. They're like, I can do every other monkey bar, and then kids are like, I can do every 3, I can do every 4, and it just continually gets less and less true because it's more about I'm better than you. I mean, they did steal from the greats, you know. In ritual magic for forever, there were different grades and officers and stuff like that. Order of the Golden Dawn, they really were like, I am a 3rd degree golden owl wing. Don't fucking talk to me, you peasant. So it's always been there.
Yeah.
At least the ritual magic with their little secret societies, at least it was fun. I mean, shit, the Odd Fellows used to make you stare into a skeleton's eyes. That's fun. Oh my god, it's fun. At least it's fun. At least it's creative. At least there's robes.
It's fun.
These hoes are just like, I made Canva templates, bitch.
I just love how I'm sure some girl who was selling you on the 5D one day woke up and was like, 60. Oh, you made it to 5? That's cool. That's cool and all, but 6D is where it's at.
The light beings have spoken to me. That's the light beings in the background.
Sex. True starseed right there.
So it's interesting to me. It all seems to come from a place of avoidance. It's avoiding your humanity, avoiding your imperfections, avoiding conflict. In the case of the scary goth baddies, I'm insulating myself from conflict. No one can come at me. No one can hurt me because I'm fucking a demon dude, I guess. I don't know. That part's weird. The god spousing and stuff like that, I can't
either. Get into that.
I don't know.
It's just not for me.
And I think it's only, truly all of this is only dumb to me and acidic to my core being because of the internet posturing. It's that part of it that brings it from, you gotta do what you gotta do. Listen, if you want to pretend to fuck demons or like be an alien on your own time, and that's what you do, get your freak on. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's the online posturing and the cornering of people who are already in a fragile place, because especially when you start out on these journeys of spirituality, and no journey is the same. You know, maybe you become curious because you have someone pass away. That's very often. Someone close to you passes away and you kind of are like, I would like to connect with the unseen because I miss this person, but I still feel like part of them is here with me. That's a very common one. Or maybe you start to get to know yourself better and you realize that you're a messy little human. And spirituality helps kind of focus you while you're doing those deep dives into the parts of you that maybe you've hidden from for a long time. There's so many different ways to get into it, but in those first steps where you start to become curious about these things, you are very vulnerable. You're like a little baby chicken. You poked your head out, you're in danger. And you're in the most danger, I think, now that the online space has become so inundated with charlatans and fakers pop up at any given moment. And it's all, your phone listens to you.
Yeah.
If you say the word witch, your phone's gonna be like, you wanna see some stuff? And those people pop up and they're like, do you feel weak? You're actually so strong, bestie.
Let me teach you how to find your strength. And here's the thing. Everyone has inner strength that they probably could harness, but that doesn't mean that that person has the end-all be-all information for you.
Especially if they're not actually saying anything.
True. That's very true.
They're just talking. It's like ShamWow commercials. You know how old school infomercials, a lot of times they weren't really saying anything, but they were talking at a certain beat per minute where you were like, wow.
Look at this. Look, if I bring this out, look at that.
Oh my God.
No mess. Wham, bam.
Butterscotch. This is $50.99. You're like, well, I feel like, oh, they seem to know what they're talking about. I do need a ShamWow.
Old Vince with the ShamWows. Didn't he go to jail?
No, he ascended. He's in the 70 now. That's why we don't hear from him anymore.
I should have known. He seemed so strong.
What is your least favorite online aesthetic? What burns your biscuits?
The star seeds burn my biscuits.
Same.
And the use of light language. Well, there are 13 different light languages. But the light language really fucks me up. I'm someone who grew up in a church that was kind of kooky, and people would speak in tongues and be all, wow. And this to me is like a poor version of that.
It's Dollar Tree.
It's Dollar Tree speaking in tongues. So here we have 13 light languages in under 3 minutes. Let's just hear a few of them. Which one is that one? Arcturian light language. Let's move on. Let's go to the next one. This is the Syrian light language. Let's move on.
Maybe store laugh.
This is the Lyrian feline light language. This is Andromedan light language.
Chickens.
Lemurian. This one is Alpha Centaurian. This is dragon light language.
You will find more materials on my profile, including a light language library with longer samples and more explanations about all these different energies and languages.
So she's going to teach you the 13 light languages.
But I thought you had to ascend to get it.
Apparently, she's going to teach you.
How much is it? Go to her website right now. I want to know. Yeah. That was definitely Dollar Tree speaking in tongues.
She has a free light language masterclass and a free light language library, as well as the light language course, which does not say free. Let's see how much she charges for said. I hate that it's a 14-minute scroll to find any real information about how much.
The price should always be at the top.
Price is always at the bottom for these.
Wow.
They're like, here's all the reasons why you should do it. Here's all the... Look, people are saying it's great. Ugh. $1,111.
It's interesting to me that when you have moved past the 3D, you still need cold, hard cash, and that's 7D.
Or you can take the Starseed package, which is $1,555. 3 easy payments of $555.
What happens? What do you get?
In the Starseed package, you get the light language course, you get personal feedback on your light language origins, access to a private group, lifetime access to all recordings, and 6-month membership into the Quantum Club. Ooh, exclusive.
I'm pretty sure that all of these people are misusing the word quantum.
What is the Quantum Club? Oh, let's see. The Quantum Club is this provider's flagship program designed for you to consistently develop your spiritual abilities, such as connecting to your galactic soul family as guides, speaking light languages, channeling energy, transmitting and receiving light technology.
Light technology? ChatGPT wrote that. This does very much carry over from our other episode. How much of this is even written by these supposedly ascended humans?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many of these baneful goth mommy words are actually made and written by said goth mommy? Or did they just put it into ChatGPT?
I feel like a lot of this stuff is now ChatGPT. I feel like a lot of it is not actually meant to teach you the things that will actually help you. It's more to get you wrapped into the program, confuse you, and feel like you need further education to understand what you've just experienced.
Yeah. Because you need money in the 7D.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that the taxes in the 7D are crazy.
You don't even have to pay taxes in the 7D. That's why you get there.
Yeah, tax free.
You've
You just
ascended.
you gotta watch out for the Galactic Federation. I hate it. I really truly do not enjoy the aesthetic of the spiritual space online.
I don't either, and I think that's the scary part for me, is that I also understand that being part to change it could be good, but at the same time, I don't. I feel.
We're doing our part. We're here right now.
Oh yeah, I mean we do this, but I'm saying as far as like TikTok and Instagram, I just don't resonate with the formats of. I feel too multifaceted.
Oh yeah, 'cause
to
you're
try
a real
and make
person.
content in a way that would be in any way cohesive.
Yeah. Well, you're not willing to give up your actual life
Right.
to spend all of your time making content for people to consume online.
Right.
And that requires you to always be up on the trends. You have to do this and do that. And I mean, the internet is here to stay. I think we talked a lot about that last time. There's really no closing that box. But I do feel like we should all start really thinking about how we show up on the internet, which is not a new idea at all. But specifically in occult spaces and magical spaces and spiritual spaces, are we really going to let one of the most significant parts of a human's life, their spiritual journey, their mystical kind of all the things you cannot see path that everyone ends up walking. Everybody gets a taste of it. Are we really gonna let it be dumbed down to weird ass regurgitated videos that are all the same all the time? I don't want to see that. It makes me sad. I need to stop being depressing.
Ooh.
I need to be more positive.
You take those thoughts, transmute it.
I'm never gonna get to that 5D tax-free bracket if I don't.
Gotta transmute those feelings.
I think the thing that really upsets me too is like so much of that. It's like you've said so many times, it's aesthetics over quality. It's make it look cool, make it look sexy, make it look like you're living a better life than other people, rather than actually tackling what some of these schools of thought could actually help you with. Because the love and light kind of starseed pipeline thing, that comes from mindset alteration, where there are a lot of people who are disastrously negative and they get stuck in those patterns of nothing is ever going to work out for me. Why do I even try? The world is against me, yada, yada, yada. And so you do have real schools of thought around gratitude and positivity and trying to, I mean, a lot of therapy is based around that. You know, cognitive behavioral therapy is in there. To me, science and magic meet a lot. There's a lot of swirling and mixing in there. And so it's taken from things that are very realistic points of views, whether mystical or scientific, and then they take it and they twist it to death until it's like ha-ta-ta-ta-ta-da, rakakaka, hibbity-hibbity, bok-bok. It fucking kills me.
That's kind of why we show up for this event. It's things that we always talk about anyway, and we figured we might as well bring it to the public, because if we see an issue, we can't be the only ones.
I hope not.
And
God, what if we're the problem?
and finding community in the spiritual space starts with finding people you relate to, and hopefully there'll be people who relate, and that will help drive a community of people who are not, we're weird, but not that kind of weird.
What's delusional weird?
Believing that you're a starseed is not going to help your earthly life on the day to day. It does nothing to enrich your life. It only is going to complicate it, because you've taken yourself out of the actual world and you're mentally living up in the clouds, which is okay sometimes, but you got to be realistic about.
You got to be able to land the plane. You can't. You gotta know when to come back to Earth. And I mean, we talked about like kind of the hall monitor people, and the halls do need to be monitored. We're doing some hall monitoring right now, but I think the difference is I don't care. As long as you are not trying to take money from people, as long as you are not presenting yourself as an end-all be-all authority, or as long as you ain't scamming. As long as you ain't grifting, as long as you aren't preying on people who are in a very vulnerable position in their lives, I don't care. I really don't. I don't care that your candle's the wrong color. I don't care that you believe in this threefold rule. I don't care. I don't care. I really don't care. I may think it's stupid, but I'm gonna leave you alone. Like, that's just what you're doing and you want to share it online. I have no problems with that. I'll defend you. I will. I've said it, I think, in our first episode. I'll defend you. It's when people are making coordinated ad sets and making their entire business about trying to steer people in one direction that will ultimately lead them to strife. That I don't like. That aesthetic can kick rocks. But yeah, like the older people, the people in their 70s who were out there in their velvet capes, their like crushed velvet capes. They had their little dish and they were like, ancestors, the veil thins. You know what? Hell fucking yeah. Hell yeah.
Get it.
I would take your class. I know you've been at this shit for 40 fucking years. You are doing the most. I love it. And you know what? It's kooky. They look a little silly, which is really how that shit looks.
Yeah.
Like, they're out there, they got their compression socks on underneath their... And you know what? Hell fucking yeah. Hell yeah. If we were picking dodgeball teams, they would be on my team. If we were going to fling curses at each other or whatever the fuck they're doing online, they would be on my team.
You guys come with me.
First pick.
So I guess, as always, our message is the same. Caution. You have to be cautious when entering any online space, really, but especially one as personal as the spiritual space.
Yeah. I would argue avoid getting too deep into online communities when you are first taking those steps. If you're interested in witchcraft, if you're interested in spirituality, if you're interested in, the things that you can feel but you cannot necessarily see, I would say very lightly tread, maybe look at people who are specifically recommending different schools of thought that you can actually study. But anyone who is centering themselves as a teacher and any sort of like prophet figure or someone who has all the answers, just steer clear of them. Get yourself a little more grounding, get your sea legs, and then wade into finding people who could be a great teacher. But you gotta sift through the 95% who are just doing that weird camera stare.
Look with your dead eyes.
Manifestation.
And I'm sure to some people they might be like, these girls hate the spiritual space. And here's the thing is, we love it so much, and that's why we're trying to protect it.
My spiritual journey and magic and all of the things that encompasses has made my life a better place to be. It has reinforced my relationships with myself, with others. It has allowed me to explore things that are scary. Plus, it's just kind of fun. I mean, there's outfits, there's swords. It is extremely important to me, and I know how important it is to you.
And that's why we get riled up.
I get riled up. And I feel like there are so many niche communities that almost have to defend themselves from the jaws of the internet these days. It's not unique to magic or spirituality. There's so many communities where the internet gets a hold of it and then the grifters get a hold of it. They're like body snatchers or like an invading force, right? Because a lot of these people, I genuinely feel like if they didn't think they could make money grifting in the spiritual and magical community, they wouldn't even be interested in it.
True.
It's just like that's their selected grifting path. Some people choose stocks and finance, you know. You see a lot of people who do like family vloggers, stuff like that. They kind of wheedle their way in, they get in where they fit in, and then they take root.
The alpha male coaches and stuff. It's yeah. Maybe one day we'll poke our head on that side. I go to the depth of the internet and find some really awful characters. So if we ever want
You
to...
told me about, what was it, bone crushing last time?
Oh, with the look maxing? Yeah. Yeah.
We do love magic. We love the spiritual community. And we feel like it's worth getting in the mud and laughing at people who are obviously stupid. They need to be made fun of. I will make fun of you if you were out here going, ha ta 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 ta, ra ta ta ta, just the same way I do make fun of people who are in churches speaking in tongues. Same thing.
I used to be in there just looking like, are you serious right now?
You so for real.
You just stood up and decided to do this? Okay.
I sent you that video last night of that girl. She was out by this really nice waterfall and she was sitting there just like, wow, waka, waka, waka. I was like, I would be pissed if I hiked my ass up to a beautiful waterfall and there was some weird ass bitch doing shit like that, filming herself. I would kick her phone in the water. I'd be like, not today. I'm with the Galactic Federation. I order you to stop. Halt.
Oh, I'm guessing that's what the Starseeds will think, that we're from the Galactic Federation.
Send me a badge.
We are here to break this party up.
Yeah, I want to keep you from going to the 7D, I guess. I don't even know. I need to look up the lore again.
We will do that. We will make an episode devoted to the Starseeds.
I mean, they're the easiest to pick on. They
are.
I will say I the baneful practitioners as well. The like I'm so tough. Look at me. Aleister Crowley's got nothing on me.
I'm tough.
Anthony LaVey got nothing on me.
Nothing on me.
I fuck demons. Like, they're just as bad. I will say that. I just know that they wouldn't even tell somebody that they didn't order ketchup, but they're online.
Yeah.
I will curse you.
Do what you gotta do, right?
No, I can't handle anyone posturing like that on the internet. I just can't. I can't do it.
You can't touch me. That's right, I've got you.
I've got a 7-layer hell ward around my house.
Good for you. I hope that works out for you.
And my tyrannus, penis, demoness husband will bite you.
Okay.
Go outside.
All right.
And if you're watching people like that, just go tell, just go tell whoever's fucking with you to eat shit. You don't need to be doing all that. You picking up fucking porcupine quills and putting them in a bottle isn't gonna fix the fact that Janet at work is a bitch. Just tell her to leave you alone. Then move forward from there.
Janet, go kick rocks.
I think I did have one. There was one that I saved that I wanted to show you. What is happening? Okay, here we go.
Only do this method if you want to manifest something extremely fast. I'm literally talking overnight. Be prepared for this to come in by tomorrow morning. So only do this if you're genuinely ready for this to come in right now. And it is called my I am simply deciding method. And what you're going to do is you're going to think of the thing that you want to manifest right now. And out loud, you are going to say, I am simply deciding XYZ is happening. I am simply deciding the apartment is mine. I am simply deciding that person is going to call me. I am simply deciding, and you're going to say it so nonchalantly, as if it's a done deal, as if it's been put in your Google Calendar. I am simply deciding this is happening. Boom, boom, boom. You're the CEO of your life. Because here's the thing, in order to manifest something, you have to say shit with conviction, okay? You have to stop entertaining doubts. You have to decide, and so it is. You are that powerful. Yes, when you say something is going to happen, you are the creator of your reality, and so it does. So decide it right now. Say it out loud 3 times.
It's giving ShamWow.
So just say it out loud 3 times and then just forget about it?
There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like but the Dorothy special.
But my question is, from there on, do I just say it and then no actionable steps? I just leave it up in the cosmos and then I go about my day?
Let's see what she has to say. I don't think I even made it to the end of this.
Okay, let's see.
Release all doubts. Do not think about how it's going to come. Know that the universe is working and conspiring on your behalf to make it happen. You don't do the work. The universe does. Let it go. Save this video. Come back to it tomorrow. Let me know what happens and fall for more. Also, if you want to make a person text you, call you, come crawling back, you want to manifest a specific person to become obsessed with you, then run through become their obsession at the top of my page if you want to make them obsessed. Only do the
Don't do that. Don't be doing no witchy woos to get somebody to be obsessed with you.
Here's one of the ones where are you ready?
Yeah.
My Soul Tribe family, welcome back. If I'm on your FYP right now, it's not by mistake. Your consciousness drew me in. I didn't use any hashtags on this post. So this is what I want you to do. Go ahead and look at the exact time wherever you are right now. Okay, take that timestamp.
It drew you in.
Sure did.
Noticing you, noticing me.
Wow. Wow.
This lady is the one. She looks like she go bite you. Here, I want you to watch it. I'm gonna play it in the microphone, but I want you to watch it. Are you ready?
I would recommend sitting down for this one. Are you seated? Are you ready? Okay. This path that you are on is not just any path. You are on a journey that is going to birth a completely new reality field that doesn't just affect you, but is going to affect countless numbers of hearts and lives. What you are ushering in to 3D, to the 3D world, is frankly ineffable, but I'm going to try to describe it here. This path that you are on, where you are committed and devoted to a vision in your heart, to a knowing of what you are meant to experience and also what you are meant to give to this world, that anchored knowing that is carrying you through life is not just happening in here. That is a frequency that is being emitted out to the world around you and is being literally collapsed into 3D form. You are building a reality.
But if it's been collapsed, that ain't 3D. What? And I thought we were trying to get out of the 3D. I thought we were supposed to be 5D and 7D these days.
She specifically looks like she would bite you. She looked a little like she got rabies. She got that blue eyes rabies.
There were a lot of words being spoken.
Yeah, that was an excellent example of word salad aesthetic. This is...
You're saying a lot without saying really anything. That's a lot of talking.
We're not ascended enough, I guess. But if that's what happens to you when you ascend, I think I'm going to stay in the 3D where people won't think I'm having a manic episode.
Yeah. That's scary.
I did check on all of these people too after I saved their videos to make sure these weren't manic episodes that just got left up. Because look, sometimes we all have Sometimes shit don't go right. Sometimes it's the age of the internet, baby. If you're in an active manic episode, I'm not gonna make fun of you.
Well, there was the one I sent you yesterday. I had to go back to the page to make sure it wasn't satire because I was like, this is so over the top ridiculous that it feels like a skit.
Yeah. These are all people who this is what they do. I got one more for you.
Doors will open for you if you stay insane and delusional. I honestly just feel like I'm one of those people where if I say something out loud, I know it's going to come to me. Like me and my fiance literally have this ongoing joke that if I want something, all I have to do is say it out loud and it will
It's
come.
crazy.
I'm
like,
you because today I'm ungatekeeping one of the practices that puts more power and more oomph behind my manifestations. I actually shared this in one of my previous videos and I got so many questions on it, so we're going to be breaking it down today.
I don't know if I'm ready.
This is a Kundalini practice called HUD. HUD is known as the creative infinity mantra. It is said to awaken prosperity consciousness and magnetism. And when you practice this, you are literally reprogramming your subconscious to believe that wealth, opportunities, and expansion are your natural state. And in Kundalini, a Kriya is basically a combination of breath, sound, and movement that helps you to anchor these things into your nervous system. So the soundtrack that I listen to is on Spotify, and I will link it in the caption below. And I'm going to explain how to do it first, and then I will show you what it looks like. So you're going to be sitting on the ground, legs crossed, and you're going to be looking down your nose at your palms. So you're going to have both of your palms together.
So she's teaching us.
I love how at the beginning she said that she just says it out loud and it's fine. But now she's saying that there's a whole little thing you have to do, which I'm sure is an inaccurate interpretation of some sort of ancient practice.
Well, yeah, she's talking about like, Kundalini practices and stuff. And like, so you've just taken lots of different ancient Indian traditions and
she made it cute.
And made it cute, repackaged it, and you're like, you want those Taylor Swift concert tickets? This is how you get them. Say it out loud. I just don't understand how people go online and they say these very blanket statements and they're like, everything will come to you.
It won't.
How many times has she done that and things not happen? She didn't mention that.
Well, she can't talk about that.
Her husband just says it always happens.
That's not part of the ad set. We're trying to sell courses here.
I think that's also my problem is that when I'm online, I don't want to seem like I'm selling you something. But at the same time, I realize that I'm selling myself.
Well, there's nothing wrong with selling your services and selling the way that you can dispense this knowledge if it is effective. We talked about this a bit in the first episode. There's nothing wrong with making money if these are your skills.
Right.
But having a full Super Bowl ad style production and like making it into such an enterprise is weird.
I feel like for me, it's the scrolling between spiritual influencers like this who are selling me things, and then in between those having real ads for actual tangible products. I just feel like everything is just a commodity. Everything is to be bought and sold. Nothing feels like it's just for joy.
To commodify the spiritual world in such a commercial sense, there is something wrong. Like, why do so many of these people's pages, all the videos look like they're medicine ads, like pharmaceutical ads?
They're like
someone running through a little forest, and they're like, if you don't ascend, you'll die. Side effects may include ascension, evil eyes on you because they're haters, and you need to rise above and be with your Andromedan brethren. It's just, it's strange. It's strange to me. It is the commodified. I remember when we learned about, there's some magazine, I can't remember right now, and it's like some kind of spiritual magazine. And we learned that in order to get on the cover of this magazine, you have to make $1 million in your spiritual business. And I personally was horrified by this. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's either you have $1 million, you got to make $100,000 a year, or over $200,000 a year.
Radical.
It's some sort
money
of monetary benchmark that you must meet, which
I don't like it.
Some of the best spiritual advice I have gotten have been from intuitives and shamans and practitioners who don't necessarily even have online presence. So it's just numbers does not equal information.
Yeah. Some people really are incredible and do make a lot of money and aren't out here scamming. We'll have to look for some very specific examples of people who do make a lot of money in the space, but don't hit all of our scammer alarm bells. Like, it is not, I don't want anyone to think that we're saying inherently you have to be poor and spiritual. No, we live on planet Earth. We know your property taxes are due. But there is a difference between putting your spirituality in and people resonating with your work and being able to make money off of it, and commercializing an extremely important human experience to its limit, strangling the humanity and the life out of it so that you can stack up those dollar bills. Be wary, people.
Be very wary.
If you hear anybody talking like the videos that we kind of played into the microphones, just know you're in danger. Scroll away. Get out of there. Scram.
Scram. Beat it.
My favorite thing to do on the internet, keeps me safe. Second I see some shit like that, I'm gonna have to go through later in the next couple days. I'm gonna have to immediately tap it. All social medias have the ability to be like, don't show me this shit no more. If you see some stuff like that, just be like, don't show me it anymore. Tap screen, tell them you don't want to see it, because it is invasive, right?
Oh, it's in there. Not interested. Hit that button.
Yeah, not interested. Because you're not. I promise you aren't. Those people just want to sell you ideals that you're never going to be able to live up to because they themselves do not live up to it. It's the same as people who are heavily face-tuned. Nobody looks like that. That's a man-made lake. That's closer to a mannequin that was created by AI than a person. And these people are doing that with spiritual practice. They're creating these archetypes that are unachievable, and then they're trying to sell you them, but it will never be enough. And you will only find yourself disappointed. Yeah.
Agreed.
You're much better served by digging in, getting a little messy, make some mistakes, try some shit out.
The only way is through.
Yeah. You don't have to win at spirituality or magic.
It's not a competition here.
There's no report cards, there's no grades. And if you find something yourself and you really go through different things and you try them yourself, instead of trying to adhere to what everyone is telling you to do, you will find more success. I will say that.
Very true.
What do you think?
Sometimes the thing I like about what used to be is that we found our own way, and it took a lot longer, but we were able to, through trial and error, find what worked for us. And now that's been kind of taken away from people, and they're being told this is the way to do it. So I think that just approaching with the idea that no one on the app is going to be it for you. No one is going to have all the answers for you. No matter if they say they do, or if you just start to get a little parasocial and start to feel they do. They don't.
Yeah, and you don't know them.
No, you have the answers. You have the answers before they have the answers.
No. You're much better off reading a book or something like that, because a book inherently is going to... Books are structured in a way that makes it easier to think for yourself, rather than an online course or just watching somebody's TikTok videos where they do 30-second bites telling you, if you're going to ward your front door, you have to do it this way. You can't do it any other way, because if you do it the other way, you're doing it wrong and it'll never work and demons will come and live in your toes.
Kill those toe demons.
I mean, it does harken back to what we talked about last week, which is that everyone is so concerned about being wrong or making a mistake or embarrassing themselves or possibly getting caught out, for not being the most powerful witch alive. But you're not. Nobody is. Just do whatever you gotta do. You're gonna fuck shit up. You're gonna be like, damn, that didn't feel good, or that didn't hit. I don't feel like this worked, or this wasn't for me. It made me feel weird. Me myself can't get down with brooms. Every time I've ever tried to use a broom or anything,
Just not for you.
it feels more Mary Poppins to me. I don't know why. It just doesn't work for me.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Like you said, you use what works for you, and you kind of just disregard the other stuff.
Yeah, there'll be stuff that feels goofy. And then there'll be stuff where you're like, whoa, this goes hard. I know you really enjoy using crystals, and you use a lot of meditative states in your magical practice.
I use a lot of herbs, and I like water a lot. I use a lot of water.
I use a lot of fire. I use swords. I have a sick-ass staff, you know? And it is absolutely goofy as shit if you see me out in my backyard. I'm looking like Gandalf about to fight the Balrog.
It's like, yeah. But that's the way that works for you.
Yeah. And it's a culmination of a lot of different things. Trying things, shifting things around. I could not teach anyone the way that magic and spirituality is ultimately going to work for them. No matter how many years I do it, no matter how many times I learn new things or read a new book or, I don't know, take a trip to the 70 on the Planet Express, I would never be able to teach someone everything they would need to know. And you can't expect that from people. You'll fall into these traps, and then you'll find yourself out by a fucking waterfall talking like a fucking bird.
Whichever of the 13 light languages were being spoken.
I can't do it. Yeah, I think that covers everything.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining us for another episode of The Liminal Lair.
We'll have to do something fun next time.
Next time, for our holiday edition, we'll think of something fun to do.
Should we talk about the Galactic Federation?
We sure can. Special holiday edition, Galactic Federation.
Starseed lore. I'm so excited. I'm going to make us Galactic Federation t-shirts to wear, matching ones.
Okay, I'm into it. Well, I think this has been another episode of The Liminal Lair.
Oh, God. I think I took more psychic damage from talking about it all.
It's an attack. It's an attack.
Okay. All right. Up top. Yay!
Yeah. We'll
Thanks.
see you next time.
You can find us on social media.
Apple,
Spotify.
YouTube,
Emails.
Instagram.
And we have advice segments. So if you want to email us,
liminallairpod at
gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Email us if you have questions about witchcraft, if you have questions about spirituality, if you are having interpersonal drama, if you know of some good drama, tell us.
Let us know.
Yeah,
We
anything,
like the
everything.
drums.
It could be anything. I'm into it. I think we need to check that. Have we ever actually checked? Has someone already written us and we didn't know?
I'll check.
Thanks for coming.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.